Walk Out with Paul and Jay, with red hot stories from post game, interviews, analysis, defend the hour, right here at the Growler.
All right, welcome into the latest edition of the Walkout. It's our training camp practice recaps. It's day 8. Paul Dehner Jr. here with not Jay Morrison, stepping in for Jay Morrison. You know him, you love him, our guy, Charlie Goldsmith. What's up, buddy?
I'm the Jalen Rivers kicking out to tackle due to a short-term absence.
There's no doubt about it. And let's hope that it goes. Let's hope you acclimate yourself quickly, unlike some of the reps that we did see today during the one-on-ones. Stadium practice today, day 8 inside the stadium. Maybe many of you watching this right now were there and you're like, I want to sit down in between those guys. I've got thoughts too. Big crowd filling the lower bowl. Not, I would say, high on sizzle, not a lot on substance practice today. You're not going to have a ton of takeaways from this, but enough that, Charlie, you know we got stuff. We will come up with something for you from today. Charlie, you know the setup.
Daily listener.
We've discussed daily listener. I'm good. So you know it's a takeaway and a play and a thing that they say. Let's go takeaway right off the top from you, Charlie. What do you got?
TJ Slaton continues to show up, especially in these padded practices. Talking to a couple guys about TJ Slaton, I was told during the first couple practices he was trying to maybe spin a little bit. He was trying to do a little finesse, and then the adjustment he made specifically when the pads came on was, no, it's time to just go. And you're seeing just true pocket push moments. It feels a lot like Chidobe Awuje's first camp with the Bengals, for example. It's like, man, this guy just fits, and there's just something there that consistently. Now, caveat, offensive guard, we've had that conversation about where the Bengals are at guard. But let's give TJ Slaton his flowers too.
I found myself doing a lot of that. We've got great views of one-on-ones in this one. From the press box, and doing a lot of, great rep Shemar Stewart, great rep Myles Murphy, great rep TJ Slaton, really whipping whoever's in front of them. And then you're like, yeah, but, and who's in front of them? What do they do? And there's a good and a bad to that. Whether it's Jalen Rivers or Caleb Etienne or whoever end up being out there.
Why'd you got to go with Caleb Etienne?
He was out there for some of them. He was out there. In the one-on-one section, you end up with those matchups. Yeah. It's nothing against Caleb. You're out there. There is an asterisk on all of this stuff, right? And so, but that doesn't take away from, Myles Murphy doing a nice jump move inside or just beating the tackle right around the outside, almost untouched. Shemar Stewart making plays. Shemar in team again, making plays again. Another nice practice for him. We've talked a lot about him on here. We showed you the clip of him beating Orlando Brown around the edge the other day. Seeing that consistently. Every practice you're seeing a flash from Shemar, which is big. My takeaway is not going to be, we've been too positive. I feel like we've been kind of positive on here lately. Look, this is a topic. It was the number 1 draft most interesting person, according to Jeremy Rao when we did it. Evan McPherson, how's he looking? He's looked good. That's my caveat on this. Evan McPherson has looked good, but we talked to him about losing power. He's back to trying to hit this power draw on his long kicks. The last 3 long kicks from 62 in the indoor the other day. Now the last 2 from 56 today, wide right, wide right, wide right. A consistent issue that he's dealing with in the last one, very wide right here. Now, again, he's been good as a whole. He's made a high percentage of his kicks, but it's been about those longer kicks. That was the thing with Evan, is getting that power back, and we've seen them all. He's been missing consistently the last couple of attempts.
So this is a story I want to do sometime before the season starts, but the idea of situational offense, because that is an area where one of the best offenses in the league last year needed to improve was situationally. And now there are things you can't control, like that one Denver game where Chase Brown got twisted up. But managing those situations goes hand in hand with the deep end of the range of Evan McPherson as a field goal kicker. That's something to enter in the season stronger on that note that maybe had room for improvement. Certainly last season, what Evan's furthest kick can be is a critical part of that decision-making process for Zach Taylor. So all of this factors into what's going to be a pivotal week 1 storyline.
And the other thing is, how do we create competitive environments? How do we create a big feel? Well, Evan McPherson in front of the whole crowd having to kick from 56 is as close as they're going to get, right? Outside of in preseason games, and it didn't go great. Again, that's me saying he's had an otherwise great camp, but I just think the fact that they've all missed to the same way, and this was the most high profile environment we've seen for him in that spot so far, and it didn't go great. Worth noting today. All right, let's go to play. You got a play for me?
I got a couple plays. It's more of a concept. Plays from today. There was one where Jamar Chase did what looked a lot like the Baltimore 4th and 1 motion, which I know that they've learned from. But a play where Shemar moving around the backfield was designed to create some manipulation. There was a play where he just truly lined up in the backfield and kind of ran a flat out route that they love to do for Chase Brown. And then there was a play with the second team where P. Ryan and Taj Brooks were both on the field at the same time. And Brooks was kind of fullback. The backfield usage, not just today, from what I've seen, all camp, has kind of been an interesting schematic theme, a notable schematic wrinkle, especially when you combine that with something I'm getting the sense is going on, more willingness, more opportunity for Chase Brown to just line up out wide in empty or semi-empty type packages because of what he can do as a route runner and how much he's improved as a pass catcher. So that interchangeability, that's on my radar schematically.
Yeah, and this takes me back. I always flash back to this where it was when Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill were here, and it was like, man, you got to get them both out there together. And then it just was never like ever could really make it a thing. Two running backs that you like being out there on the same field. They sound great, and then it never really, though, ends up actually working out. But you could see a world where they could come up with something because of the way that they use these guys. And Taj Brooks is good in the passing game. Chase Brown, we know what he is in the passing game. P. Ryan, you know what he is as a pass protector, maybe in a Drew Sample type of role, where you could see ways that could make sense. And yeah, you're right. You see them here experimenting, dropping it in there and seeing if there's ways to make it happen. I'm going to do one again. This wasn't a practice full of all kinds of stuff. There wasn't big plays, but it was meant to be more for show. You could kind of tell that. So I'm going to use the opportunity to shout out somebody who has made plays, who got a shout out behind us from Zach Taylor the other day, and seems to be doing the right thing and on the radar, and a potential candidate for the Mo Egger Award without question. Mitchell Tinsley might have had to play a real play. It was a deep ball to Mitchell Tinsley with two guys on him. He goes up over top of him, comes down with it. This is what happens, right? It's this point in camp where somebody who has done the right things, got an opportunity, makes a big splash play in a day like this, and next thing you know, has a nice preseason game, and you start talking about what are you going to do with Mitchell Tinsley? And that's how you win the Mo Egger Award, people, is just like that. Or who knows, there's open spots in the back end of that receiver room. Who knows?
Sure. It's that time of year.
It's that. What else are we doing? What else are we doing right now? If you follow that arc where he has big preseason games, you start talking about him in the say. We talked about Kendrick Pryor this way. We've talked about a lot of Auden Tate was talked about this way.
I was about to say the name Auden Tate because what he does is very Auden Tate. And what's so interesting to me about kind of this battle between Tinsley and Pryor is Pryor's the short contested catch guy. Like that's kind of the weird thing about Kendrick Pryor is that's what his game is. There's now a real competitor for what Pryor's had, which is the first practice squad guy spot. Similar skill sets, very different types of players. What can they do? Probably competing for the same types of routes in the preseason.
Yeah, be really interesting. But worth a shout out. Mitchell Tinsley's having a really nice camp and had a splash play today. All right, something that they said.
Josh Newton, who had a really nice pick as well today, playing more outside, kind of jumped in front of Charlie Jones, played the ball well. He said the secondary, quote, "We're the biggest question, but that's an honor because we hold the pencil." And later he said, "Swagger, that's all I got."
Yeah, it's really on top of this. The theme that we've had is that they may be young, maybe inexperienced, they may be maligned. They're confident, they're loud, they're brash. This secondary, you hear them and you see them, and they do kind of consistently make plays, and they're holding pencils too.
Apparently, yeah. I hate pencils.
Yeah, did you ever mechanical pencil?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was like they ended up getting phased out around high school. It's like you stop using pencils once you get to high school.
Yeah,
like that was a thing. Was that your generation?
Yeah, thing? I never liked when the mechanical pencil showed up. They always it busts too quickly. I just need a nice solid number 2 that I can work with and I know is going to be consistent, reliable. A double, a draft double, if you will. The Malachi Starks, if you will, of pencils is what I need. Reliable. Okay. Sorry, we had to do that.
That's a different podcast.
It was a long one and a good one. Yeah. Go back and listen. It was a good one. I have Noah Fant, who we talked to for the first time today and was out there on the field for his first practice. And it was fine. But I thought what stood out to me is polished dude, says all the right things. You understand why you're like, oh yeah, you want this guy on your team. It was, I'll give you the quote. He says, look, this team, they have big dreams and aspirations here of winning the Super Bowl. I want to help that and be part of the winning culture. That is a polished answer right there. Like, because the question was about, look, you see Burrow helps these tight ends. They get all this production. They make money off of being here, a chance for him to go individual. And he's like, yeah, I see that. I hope I can do that. But, and offers that line, really focused on being a good part of the team, earning whatever role it's going to be, and saying all the right stuff. That's a dude who was from Iowa, first-round pick, been in multiple places, knows how to say the right thing now. And I think, it sounded like a guy, you're getting a pro. And that's a big part of the draw, Noah Fant. You're getting a pro, not some throwaway, and that's why you saw a little bit extra coin on top of his athletic ability thrown at him coming in here.
I think I know where it's going there, which is that Gesicki's just going to be more in the slot, more of a true wide receiver this season, because Fant is a guy who's a more of a classic, traditional, maybe the 30th, 25th best tight end in the league, and that's fine. And now this is the second time I'm going to make an Incredibles reference to you, but the Bengals sign Noah Fant. Today, Jake Browning is force-feeding Tanner Hudson. Coincidence? As a great school teacher in The Incredibles once said, I think not.
I didn't know we were going to end it with an Incredibles. It makes me realize I have to go watch. It's maybe a blind spot for me. Can I share
the other one?
Yeah.
The Jermaine Burton towel thing. No capes. And if you're my age, you know what I'm saying.
Yes. No capes. The towel has not returned since the day it was much discussed and became an internet thing. So good for Jermaine for going away from that. Who did have a really cool catch. He had maybe the coolest catch of the day. Deep ball, just throwing on air. Kind of caught it with one hand on a deep ball in the back of the end zone. Cool catch, points for Jermaine Burton today. All right, tomorrow, Bengals back to the practice fields. The last practice that is fully open to fans. After that, there's others with season ticket holders and suites and stuff like that. So if you want to get out, come out on Sunday. Come say hi. If you see us, of course, and we'll have the recap. Jay will be back in the chair. You know what? The Bengals can only hope that Jalen Rivers delivers what Charlie did, stepping up into the chair today, kicking outside. It was a great one. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.